Hi everyone, this is Michael. It excites me tremendously to be alive in 2013. How do you feel? You're alive. Taking the breath. I've been cleaning house, so I smell bleach, and bleach means that there's no bacteria. So gratitude for the creator of bleach and Clorox and for Tide or whatever Arm & Hammer you might use to keep your house free of germs and contagions. But it is 2013, and do you know I chose to record this in the colors of black and white with my Newsboys cap because I think it may be the second time. If there is a first time, then I'm only aware of this being the first time in my lifetime, being 34 years old, that the government, the United States government, meaning the senators, the Congress, the governors, the city council people, and the president, vice president, which is of course our commander-in-chief. If we were to have a war, I guess they would page him. Beep, 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 beep. We need to blow Obama at Egypt immediately, Mr. Obama. I don't know how that would work. But I'm going to read an article in your today's Los Angeles Times, and it is, again, October the 5th, 2013, and this is Michael. The article is titled, House Votes to Pay Workers Furloughed. They call it furloughed. Furloughed, and that's a nice word. It means that they're off of work, that they are not obligated to any work at all during a furlough, and usually it has to do with the amount of money that is available to pay them. And again, we have had difficulty paying the Congress and the government, the tax collectors, the ones that feed off of your, is it 8 cents on every dollar that goes to the taxes, or is it 11 cents now? I'm not sure. But a big portion of that goes directly to the government, i.e. the president. That's how he gets his income. And of course, usually most presidents own their own business on the side, which is not mentioned during their presidency. So they're making a lot of money and staying in a White House, which of course they can't call home, but they can say to the rest of the world, I lived in one of the 7 continents' most highest places, or highest castles, that ever existed. And on North America, that would be, depending upon where you're standing, it's not my highest castle, the White House. We have President Obama, which is obviously African American, living in the White House. So, House votes to pay workers furloughed during government shutdown. So the House, which is the government, is paying, we're going to go ahead and pay ourselves while we're not working. Okay. And this is a true story. It's written by Lisa Mascaro. Her last name is spelled M-A-S-C-A-R-O. October 5th, 2013, in your Los Angeles Times. Again, this is Michael Bankhead reporting this to you. How are you? Washington, the House unanimously agreed Saturday to provide back pay for hundreds of thousands of furloughed federal workers, but they showed no sign of ending this impasse that has forced much of the government to shut down. Lawmakers faced steep political pressure to ensure that federal workers are paid when the shutdown ends. The bill now goes to the Senate, which also convened for an unusual Saturday session, but Democrats have no immediate plans to approve the back pay bill. And I did say that correctly, although it sounds like I did not. I will reread it, the last sentence. The bill now goes to the Senate, again, which is a set of government employees, which are saying we're going to continue to get paid even though we are not working and we are not retired and we don't have an illness. The bill now goes to the Senate, which also convened for an unusual Saturday session, but Democrats had no immediate plans to approve the backup bill. We're trying to ease the pain here, said Zafter, the House vote. The White House has signaled that it will not veto the bill, but Democrats have largely rejected the Republican strategy of trying to reopen selected parts of government, insisting that they will accept only full funding of government operations. As the shutdown entered its 5th day, the rare weekend session in Congress offered more symbolism than substance. Since little progress is being made toward a broader resolution to the latest standoff, the crisis began as an attempt by the Tea Party Republicans to stop implementation of the Affordable Care Act by withholding funding for the rest of government operations. But the budget, and we could go back and review that. There's something that Obama or his people, his collection of affiliates which are in agreement under his dominion. There's a section, and it's called the Affordable Care Act, and there's a crisis. It began when the Tea Party Republicans said they're going to stop implementation of this act by withholding the Tea Party, which is a different part. There's Republicans and there's Democrats, and then there's little mini diversions, and each one has a slight bit of control, and each state has either a Republican or a Democrat, usually, who's in control of their Senate. Two of them, and they're usually either one party or the other. But one of them said, we're going to withhold the rest of the funding for all other government operations if you continue forward with this act called the Affordable Care Act. Now, continuing with the article, it says, but the budget battle has shifted to a broader debate over the size and scope of government. Some Republicans are seeking to cut out Medicare, to cut out Social Security, and other federal programs in exchange for funding for the government and raising the nation's debt limit by October 17th, the deadline for a potential financial default. And for those of you who are not aware of what Medicare and Social Security is, when a person reaches age of retirement, which in the United States is typically 60, some people are able to obtain Social Security at age 15 or even age 6 or 2 if they are born with a severely impacting mental illness or physical impairment, or say you are in the military and one of your legs is cut off, they have to amputate you, or you are diagnosed with an illness and they must take away a part of your lung, and so they attach you to different machinery. Those are people. And then of course there's mental illness, which means that this person is gone so far that they can control their thought process without having someone watch over them, or without having some horrible nightmare or fear that overtakes their entire being. Of course, then there's high blood pressure problems, and there's stroke, and there's heart attack, and then there's paralysis, and there's awful back problems where you may hurt just the smallest ligament of the spine, and you will be out of work for the rest of your life. For those of you who aren't aware of what things that Medicare can cover, those are some of the things that Medicare and Social Security can cover, so that you are not laying in the street watching cars pass by that cost $10,000 to people who go to work for 40 hours a week and forget why they go to work in the first place. And whose soil and sun and SOIL and SOL and SCUN that they're under. And I am part Native American, and I love that. I'm so grateful for my ancestry for surviving. Let's just hope that we can get beyond 34. My 34th birthday was 3 weeks ago. But the budget battle has shifted to a broader debate over the size and scope of government. Some Republicans are seeking to cut Medicare, Social Security, and other federal programs in exchange for funding the government and raising the nation's debt limit, raising the limit, by October 17th, which is a week in advance, the deadline for a potential financial default. President Obama has shown the little willingness to negotiate until Republicans agree to reopen the government and raise the debt limit, which is needed to ensure the Treasury can pay obligations already accrued by Congress. The Treasury, of course, is the portion of the government which holds the money. The Treasury only has so much money, so you can't create money. However, we do have the ability to create money, because money is no longer backed by gold. It is something that it can be printed and signed, and I don't know the term for that, but you can look it up, and it is possible to resolve the issue in other ways. But again, it's all pointing the nation back to values, and we look at Great Britain's king and queen, and we see that's what man and woman are supposed to treat each other like according to Great Britain. But there are different cultures, and there's different breeds, and there's different hormonal instincts, and there's different joys and pleasures in life, and there's different senses, different tastes, different words, different eyesights, different colors and shades of yellow, black, green, gray, and brown. We're going to continue and complete this. This crisis should be over in hours if the Speaker and Republicans would just take yes for an answer, said House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi. She's a Democrat of San Francisco. House Speaker John A. Boehner, and it's spelled Boehner, he's a Republican of Ohio. He said his leadership team have engineered a strategy to have the House pass a series of bills to fully reopen some of the more popular parts of government, the national parks and museum, for example, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency. Democrats have joined in some of those votes. Let me please go back. Forgive me. Democrats have joined in some of those votes in the House, but the Senate has dismissed the effort, saying they will not choose winners or losers. So the Democrats and Republicans are having a war of power. And who has the right? Because the president is just a facilitated vessel through which the final command passes. Everything he says must pass through each member of Senate, which consists of Republicans and Democrats, which come from every single state. Until recently, it was Arnold Schwarzenegger in the state of California. Now we have Governor Jerry Brown. Continuing and finishing this article, again, this is in your today's October the 5th LA Times. It's titled, House Votes to Pay Workers Furloughed During Government Shutdown. Who's the House? The House is the government. The government is paying itself while it's shutting itself down. That money could go towards this deficit, and they could take a vacation and take back some of the money that they've got in the savings that I'm sure they have big amounts of. Completing this, Democrats have joined in some of those votes in the House, but the Senate has dismissed the effort, saying that they will not choose winners or losers. Only a bill to pay military troops during the shutdown has been signed into law, but the Pentagon and intelligence agencies have furloughed, nice word, furloughed hundreds of thousands of civilian workers. Again, that's by Lisa Mascaro, and you can write to her at lisa.mascaro@LATimes.com, all lowercase, lisa.mascaro@LATimes.com. I'm sorry, lisa.mascaro@LATimes.com if you'd like to have a citizen say so in what's happening with the government paying itself while it's refusing to work, and it's trying to take away money from those who are in need, which are the disabled, which could be you, as well as anyone else that is viewing. Have a great day. This is Michael signing off, October 5th, 2013. Blessings, safety, prosperity, and health to you. Goodbye.